Here we are. Yeah, Mo. Yeah, I actually just read. I pulled your message up right now, so I'll definitely touch on that. But thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, what's up, Xavier? Ivy Bolt. Back up yesterday. Oh yeah, so I just pulled up the Medium article, but yeah, I forgot I did not finish yesterday's YouTube. So let me find this shit again. I think I got about halfway through. So you're right. Yeah, I did. Hang on. Well, you can't see what I'm looking at now, but I think I
So
got about.
embarrassed that you were crying over an ugly man. Like he didn't have the personality or the looks, and you still got your feelings about him. And he ended up breaking your heart. Like, don't you? I don't know. I would be embarrassed.
Oh,
I will die.
this video playing over here. Okay. So, oh wait, you guys can see what I'm looking at. So let me go here. Yeah.
Heart. Like, don't you? I don't know. I would be
Okay. Yeah.
embarrassed. I would.
So, where we at? So yeah, we live. This time I'm not late. Yo, hey, thanks for tuning in, Ivy Bolt. Yeah. Yo, I don't know why it's not the chat's not showing up. Like this Streamlabs is weird. So the chat's showing up in my Streamlabs, but now it's not showing up on actual YouTube. It's only MG Verde, which hey, thanks for tuning in, man. But that's the only one that's showing up. But I see other ones like it just flips, man. This is fucking Streamlabs. This shit just flips. But yeah, man. Yo, okay, so real quick, because I'm gonna read your message off too, Mo, for sure, because I got it right here. We're talking about the deprivation of touch. So so yeah, so today I looked into the field of mental health counseling and how much these motherfuckers earn. Like that shit is like I would never recommend somebody to do it to go work like for somebody. I would never recommend anybody do this shit. Never, never. With all the work you have to do behind it to get there, I could never recommend anybody to do it. Again, like I'm getting paid to do it from the military, but like for anybody to go out there on their own with their own money to go out there, I would never recommend. I would say go out and maybe read books, buy some books on this on the topic, right? But to go out and to actually do all the mental work to get employment in it, like at a business or at a company type of shit, not worth it, dude. I will put it in there with like I've never worked in HR, but from what I gather, HR is like a similar thing. Like the pay is never great, and it's just not, and it's going to be nonsense drama because these fields are usually female dominated. So like I looked into it earlier today. That shit is fucking wild, dude. Like don't do it. Just don't. Like again, I'm not paying for this shit, so like I'm cool with it. And on top of that, like I can go off on my own and just like, cause I have a personality to go out and just, I could just sell myself, right? And then, so I can make it work. But like, I would say like the person who is looking for employment in it, don't do it. Not worth it at all. Absolutely not. None of the credits transfer into anything else. I mean, essentially, what you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, you could do as a life coach, which is like literally a 1,000th of the fucking price it would take to go to university for it. It is absolutely one of the worst. I would say that's one of the worst degrees you can get if your perspective is to pay for it and then look for employment in the world, at a business or company, right? That is one of the worst degrees. I would put that up there with how they say like communications and basket weaving. I would say it's even worse than basket weaving because again, you can go out and just get a life coach certificate and essentially do the same shit, right? Like so so but for example, like I can help. I can, okay, for my life, one, it was more for just personal knowledge why I even did it anyway, and two, it was a combination of a few things. But the way I can sell it is because it's just the reality of marketing. Like people like exotic shit, relatively speaking, exotic shit or shit that has something to do with something exotic, right? So the fact that I'm like, relative, especially in North America, and relative to Europeans, relative to the world, I'm essentially like a world, an educated minority world traveler, right? Who you know what I'm saying, that who is also free to talk about fucking bitches' throats and pissing in bitches' faces and spitting in their mouth, right? Like I'm like so I fit a fucking niche of it. Like I can sell so much more on my own, and then on top of that, I can just talk, right? And talk openly and freely, even if it's embarrassing myself, right? So like I can sell it on many other facets, and on top of that, I have multiple other degrees in completely different fields, right? So even if I forgot a lot of it, I still have some type of workable knowledge if I dive into a conversation about it, right? So so I kind of ended up this jack of all trades, kind of a jack of all trades I'd say with the primary point of like being able to just go grab a microphone, sit down, start talking, and then people start listening, right? And I've always had that. I've always had that luck of a I don't want to say talent because it was almost more like I was kind of born with it. I would say I was born. I was kind of just that luck, right? So that is real. So my ability to just walk around and talk to people is really my number one superpower, right? My number one selling point is the ability to talk, and it always has been, right? It always has been. And then the biotech, the network engineering, the clinical mental health disability, and whatever bullshit certificates I got along the way, all that was just like to supplement my ability to talk and break boundaries to and break comfort zones to form stronger bonds with people, right? but where to start it, like I would never recommend somebody to go off on their own to maintain your licensure and to pay for it and the hours you need, dude. Okay, for the regular person who's going to be working a full-time job and all that to live, and I'm not like knocking people doing that, because it's a society we live on. For the person who has to do that, you have to do like about a year and a half's worth of hours just to maintain your fucking license, just to maintain being respectable in the fucking field, right? Like it's not. And on top of that, the field pretty much maxes out for the majority at like 60K a year, right? It's not fucking worth it. Okay, to go out and find employment somewhere, right? Now, the way I sell it, I'll end up getting in other circles with people who never earned under six figures, right? Because my personality and the exoticness of my life can sell. I can sell for much higher than that. Like if I really wanted to, type of shit, right? But for the regular person working a job, there is absolutely no way I would ever recommend anybody do this. And now, because I remember I told you guys last night when I had that group meeting, it was with a bunch of people and who's in the field too, and all of them hate their life. And after I read that earlier today, like I got on Google and actually like looked into it, like what would I actually expect to go into employment with this shit? I'm like, oh my, now it makes sense, like why they hate their lives. Like it makes sense because this shit is a waste of fucking time and money. You know what I mean? Like the clinical mental health disability profession is a waste of fucking. It's a waste of time and money for the. It just is. It's a waste. It's essentially a fucking. I would say for the main population who's gonna go find employment in it, it's the equivalent of busking, meaning like playing a guitar on the street, right? But they spent like $60,000 to go out there and be able to play guitar on the street. There is no way. Like I could never recommend people to do it. I could never. I could not. I would tell you don't do it. I did it, but again, I got it paid for. I was being paid the whole time. I was being paid the professional salary to study the shit, right? But I make more money studying this shit than actually working at fucking, at a practice doing it. Like, these motherfuckers making 50K a year. 50K? Are you serious? Like, that is a fucking rip-off. That is a master's degree to earn 50K after taxes. Dude, that's like what, $1,800 a month or some shit like that? That's fucking nothing. For a master's, you know what I mean? For a master's. I can see a bachelor's, but a master's, no, you got me fucked up. Motherfuckers, I was reading people's comments on like, is it worth it to be a these motherfuckers was starting out at 30,000 a year for a master's. Are you serious? Get the fuck. They can suck my fucking dick for fucking 30. Motherfucker, you be better off working at McDonald's. Are you fuck at that rate? I would tell bitches to do OnlyFans if they pretty enough. I would advise a woman to do OnlyFans instead of do clinical mental health. I work with her and help her out. I hold the camera. Just for, you know what I'm saying? Just for fun, just to advocate. I don't even want to get paid. I'd hold the camera just as a charity case. You know what I mean? Like I'd hold this shit just as charity for the bitch. Because I feel sorry for her doing that shit. But there is absolutely no way I would ever recommend anyone to study that, to go to university for the field. Again, if you just had, I would say if you had just a personal interest, I would say, yeah, go. You know, I don't have any issue if you have like just a genuine interest in something. Definitely go do it. And after that, you can work on your own in life and just get clients doing it like that, for real. Because it's not like you need medical equipment or anything for it. I says, yo, thanks for the $5, man. Andre Williams, thanks a lot, man. AD, does it get better? Does it get better as you get older? I'm a late bloomer, and at 29, making 80K plus, I still feel lost. Any suggestions? I'm a Black American from Miami, and am still interested in Black women. I'm assuming that means Black women. BW. I'm working on my finances and self-esteem. Honestly, man, when it comes to feeling lost, again, hey, yo, thanks for the donation. Appreciate it, man. When it comes to feeling lost, honestly, dude, it's one of those things that I'm gonna tell you my real opinion on it. I can tell you that bullshit that they gonna, you know, a professional that you pay a professional, you know, to tell you just to keep you on the hook to try to keep getting money out you. But I'm gonna tell you the reality from my personal experience of living outside of the same county I grew up in, right? And I touched on this a while back of loneliness and feeling lost. Ultimately, it's one of two things. One or two things or both. One, you just simply haven't found the combination to your lock yet, right? Right? You just haven't found it. And here's the thing. It's never guaranteed for you to ever find that combination out. It's never guaranteed in life to do it. And that's a brutal reality to accept. But I think in acceptance, you can grow out. You'll be able to grow and grow out of it. Like, for example, was that poem Charles Bukowski, "No Heroes, Please" or something like that. He said, learn you have to learn to you have to invent yourself and then learn to how to reinvent yourself, right? And a song by Katie Tunstall called "Miniature Disasters" touched on it. You know, like you know, everything. You know, pretty much the overall statement of "Miniature Disasters" was by Katie Tunstall, which is one of my favorite songs by her, by the way. It's a white girl, UK Scottish girl, plays guitar. She stated how. No, I don't think it was "Miniature Disasters." It was another song. But she states how, you know, it was supposed to be automatic. Oh, "Still a Weirdo" by Katie Tunstall. "Still a Weirdo." That's one of my favorite songs by her, too. She states how, you know, life was just supposed to be automatic, you know, because when we're younger, everything's automatic. People put you in school, now you got to catch up with the other kids. You always had this clear goal of something to do. So at least a part of your mentality was just kind of sidetracked by that. So you didn't have enough time to really be a grown man and sit down and focus and think, right? So by the time you turn to be a grown man, now all the shots are on you to be called. You have a lot more time to think and focus on being lost, right? Whereas like here's the thing, most humans were lost throughout growing up in general, right? But again, when you're growing up as a child, you don't have enough time to really sit down and think about it. And by the time you do, well, at that point, they're putting you in asylums and shit, right? Because by this point, you know, because when you're a kid, your whole thing is to go catch up with the faster kids, with the better shoes, or with the funnier guys, or with the, you know, the guys who were, you know, doing anything better. Like you were always preoccupied, so you were never focusing. But the other part I want to get to is I touched on this a while back, and personally speaking, I never realized, and maybe you've already experienced this, I don't know, Yo, thanks for the donation. I'm gonna read that in 1 second. When I experienced this when I went to New York City for the first time, right? And I remember when we got out of what's Times Square. Was it like 40? Is it 44th Street, 45th Street? I think is Times Square. You get out that underground exit. Smells like piss. You know, for anybody in New York, you already know. It smells like piss everywhere. It's just a local perfume. You know what I mean? But when I got out there, like when you first see Times Square and all the people just around, you get answers to questions you didn't even know you had. That's the feeling you get. Well, that's the feeling I had. But where I'm going with New York is one of the most populated places on earth, right? At 9 a.m., it's more populated. On the streets are more populated than, you know, by far the best day where I'm from in Cincinnati, Ohio. Or Cincinnati, they just don't even compete with that shit. But I tell you what I found is I figured and it was a shocking revelation that you can feel alone being surrounded by people, right? And I went there with a group of friends, about 8 or 9 friends, right? And I never and there was times where I felt super alone. Now on the flip side, when I lived in that small town, Chescalipa, I don't know if you remember about a show Chescalipa in a live stream where I used to live. Nobody spoke English there. It was more like it was almost more like a place in Cincinnati. You know, not very many people walking outside. Nobody spoke English. I spoke no Czech at the time, and I experimented with this feeling of feeling lost and you feeling lost or whatever, feeling lost or alone, right? And what I found is that, and I seriously intended on experimenting with this. I said, I'm not going to contact anybody. I'm just going to exist and just walk to the store, get food, and walk back. I'm not going to even try talking to anybody, right? And what I found was I still went through the motions of feeling super connected to everything. And then I would just some days wake up and just feel super. I did that for about 3 or 4 months. Just didn't talk to anybody on purpose, right? And I still went through it. And that's when I came to the conclusion, it's one of those things that just happens, right? It's very well possible that it can just happen. But at 29, I say that I would say you probably I say you're doing and you making 80K. That's great, man. At 29, most men don't start waking up until early 30s. Majority of men, like unless they grew up with a sister or like a fast mom or something like that, most guys are just going to be, you know, for one reason or another, they're just not either going to have the opportunity to really bloom earlier, or they're just not going to mentally start clicking on. If some men never click on, but most times it'll start happening right around these age. So you're right in that proper age group to where this happens, right? And the 80K definitely helps out. But feeling lost, a hard transition is, like I said, that poem by, I think it's No Heroes or something like that. No Heroes, Please, or something. And it's a very difficult thing that I think it was hard for me to fully grasp it, right? Is you as a man, you have to learn how to invent yourself and reinvent yourself, right? So there is no such thing as one place being a paradise for a majority of people, if they are completely honest, right? Because I think based off of, especially in America, we're pretty much raised on Christianity or some form of Christianity, Catholicism, some form of was it Judaism, I think is the proper term for it. We're raised on this idea that there is a final, and it gets put into us, right? It gets put into us that there is this idea that we have to reach we have to go from destination A to destination B, and destination B is the end point, and everything will always be resolved and solved. Meaning it's a different location, right? Right? And this can't be further from the truth in human development, right? To stay consistent, mentally strong, stable, and all that, right? Because it's human nature to grow, to evolve, to get bored, and grow and innovate new things, right? That's what keeps people. That's what keeps humanity going and growing. Is that even if we went through slow periods, we still kind of kept slow growing and evolving, right? But it's up to you to understand that, especially as a man, I mean, all humans need it, but especially as a man, you have to take it upon yourself to break your comfort zones. You have to take it, you have to force yourself to break your comfort zones, take risks, those two things. You have to do it. And it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. But I tell you what you'll find is what you'll find is when you do it, it was you the whole, okay, that whatever success you had, it was always you the whole time. And I tell you a great example of this. It's coincidence this came up. I was thinking about, for some reason a while back, I was listening to James Franco. So I don't know if anybody knows who James Franco is, but James Franco was Harry Osborn in the old Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire, right? And I think it was like David Letterman or some shit like that, and he was telling the story how he never graduated from university. And he said, he never, at first he had never graduated from university, and he went off and he got lucky in Spider-Man. Spider-Man blew up, and he had this whole career that most people would die for, to be, popular in movies, right? He had money, he was well known, he had, if you're from that time, you immediately recognize his face type of shit. But he said he always felt insecure because he never finished university. So he said, so he took years off to go back and finish university. And he said when he finally finished university, he hit that aha, like that Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz moment. Like, no, like it was really, that Wizard of Oz moment. Like I had it all along. It was like the degree meant nothing. Like it was in me. Like I was already all this the whole time. And the degree was worthless at that point. But what I'm trying to say is like, okay, you have to learn to reinvent yourself, and in the process, you'll find that it was always you from the beginning, right? Whatever success you have in life, whatever money you have, whatever, it's all gonna come out to the same sense of value in the end. Like so, with that statement, it's all gonna come out to the same value in the end, right? The movie Mr. Nobody with Jared Leto. Pretty much the only Jared Leto movie that I think ever got good reception, Mr. Nobody. I would recommend everybody, if you're in a philosophical dilemma, watch Mr. Nobody. Especially, I'm not saying maybe you're not in a philosophical dilemma, but if you're having these, feeling lost, Andre Williams, watch the movie Mr. Nobody. So I don't want to spoil it, because I would spoil it if I went into why I say you should watch it. But the overall thing is, look, like, it doesn't matter. Once you, okay, there's a fear of letting go to what you already know will get success, but at the same time, you're coincidentally fighting stagnation, right? Right. So at some point, let's say a guy who's making, say, I don't want to use you as an example. Let's say a guy making 90K, he, of course, at some point he's happy, but at the same time, it's boring, because he knows he is there, and in reality, it's more stagnation unless he's reinventing himself in other ways, right? And this is where the reinventing comes back in. As a man, you have to grow to that level of reinventing yourself, and you might lose everything, right? And this is that brutal, scared part where many guys don't even fuck with that. But the reality of it is, they can always come back to, like, you at this job, you can always come back and do it again. You can say fuck it and just travel around the world, and when you tired, go back and do it again if that's what you really wanted, right? But that's from my perspective being lost. Maybe your definition of loss could be deeper than that, but that was just my quick rant, because I'm trying to hurry up and go fast, because I want to read this message and then finish this video, because it's 8:30 already. So I hope Cool, you dude. Yeah, thanks, Rex. Appreciate it. Can you read the last super? Yeah. For the bro that lives in Miami, please never date black woman in America, period. Basically begging to have your life ruined if you are not attracted to other races. Get a traditional black woman from another country. Please heed my warning. Let me play that again. And you know what, man? I motherfuckers would call me a race traitor or whatever the fuck. Yo, I can't blame you for that. I agree. dude, like, whew. Because I'm working with a bunch of black women now. Yeah, I'm telling you, they just not happy, dude. Like, like it's just always just like combative. I work with black women right now, and I would tell you that hey, RBT, I tell you, man, I gotta agree with you because the little Spanish girls or white girls that come in there, or the Spanish girls that's been indoctrinated into the white girl world, like yo, like I genuinely feel like I want to talk to these bitches. You know what I mean? Like, but when you deal with the black women always got this fucking attitude. Like it's always this combative, like like at this point, I don't even think my dick would even get hard for a black woman anymore. You know what I mean? Like I don't even I really don't. If I were to go back to America and start talking to a black, I don't think I could get I honestly don't think I don't think I can even keep my dick hard for a black woman because it feels like a man, right? It's too much energy charged, like it's just not, there's nothing there's absolutely, again, there are the population of black women who excel. When they do, you don't hear from them ever again. They just gone. But for all the ones that's left over, like, it's a reason why. And I gotta agree with you on that, RBT. Again, I remember there was this one dark black girl, and she was crazy about me actually when I was a tutor. And she was go, "Hi, Wendell." And every time she come down, like out of her way type of shit. But this is when I was dating the other girl behind. I was living with the girl behind the front desk. And now she was one. She was tall. She was that stereotypical, skinny, had a good shape, but skinny, tall, dark black African girl. But she was like a good looking girl. And I usually don't like dark black girls, but she was, she had the feminine side in her, and she was great. But they're out of all the black girls at that school, she was one of the few who were, who I would actually recommend a man to date. Right. Right. I say you got me dying. Black women reminds you of a man. Oh yeah, man. Right. Oh God, yeah. Because because I'm working. It's a bunch of black girls there now, black women, right? And the thing is, like, all of them, like birds of a feather flock together. So like they're all like on this. Okay, so here's the thing. When a dude like me comes around black women, right? The typical, like the average black woman in the U.S., right? If she's not just extremely bitter, some kind of way, okay, probably just how I'm gonna dress or how I'm gonna walk and talk or my opinion, she's gonna know that I'm not like the regular African American dude, right? And then at some point, she's gonna start inquiring where I am, she's gonna start asking questions because this is women. This is their prerogative in life, is to figure out the value of a man type of shit, right? So it's gonna come out, right? And then after that comes out, she's gonna start trying to speak, like I said, when a woman figures a man of value is near her, she's gonna clean up her fucking act real quick, and it's gonna be so clear and desperate. It's gonna be more pathetic in the end, right? It's gonna be it works opposite for me. It's not respectable at that point because I know she changed up her act. Because I'm thinking about one girl when I went back to the U.S. I'm not gonna share too. It's kind of a personal situation. So I'm not gonna share too much information, which is, so people could think I'm lying or not, which I'm definitely not. But so somebody I knew was dating this girl who was a fucking mess, right? Absolute mess. But she was young, skinny, looked like she knew how to take a bath, right? So she was a goddess in North America. And this girl was known to not cook, not clean, none of that, right? And I remember when I first got back to the U.S., I'm dressed a little more, I'm dressed because I usually I wear suits most of the time, not because it's a suit, but because I'm just lazy as fuck and I hate matching clothes. So either I wear blue jeans, a leather jacket, or I just wear a suit because I hate matching clothes. I hate that I think it's a waste of thought process, right? But I know the influence that dressing like that is going to have, especially on women in society, how they can perceive it, whether positive or negative. So in the U.S., this is definitely a positive, right? Because people just don't dress in this, fitting of clothing type of shit, and in this type of clothing, right? So it's going to come out that, he just got back from Europe, blah, 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 blah. So this girl who I had talking to the close person who was dating her. I had talking to him for years about her, knew everything about her. She's a piece of fucking shit, right? Just a terrible girl. She's just in prime breeding time, right? And I remember when I came in there, in the room, she was in there. She starts sweeping the floor and starts cleaning up shit and starts to try to act like, try to clean up her act. And because she doesn't know that I know everything about her, right? Because I spoke to the close person of mine about her. She doesn't know that I know, but I know. Now, and she's trying to clean up her act because she figured, oh, like, that dude's in the room, so she's not going to do that with me. But she would act way, because he told me later that, yeah, she acted completely different as soon as you left. She's not cooking or cleaning nothing. But if woman feels like a man is better than her, she is going to learn how to cook. She is going to learn how to clean. She is going to try to speak proper and all that. And the same thing's happening where I'm working now. And then the black bitches, they don't realize that I know what they're trying to do, right? And it's just not gonna work. So real quick, let me read this message because it's a response to my statement about people can die from lack of touch. So it says, appreciate the response to my last message. On a previous live stream, you have stated that without touch, a person can die from deprivation of touch. I have tried to look into the literature on this topic, and all I could find was infants and touch deprivation. Touch deprivation can cause mental frustration and a decline in mental health. However, I do not believe it causes death since our male instinct is to explore and build. As long as we can explore or build something, our mental state is stable. Speaking from experience, I did not get physical touch from 10 to 18 and I am still alive. I did feel lonely, but I was able to enjoy the peace and loneliness that at that time. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the study of the infant study, which there was a few of those floating around. Some of them were actually confirmed to be false. In other words, others were confirmed to be true about the infant study of um, it would be like a room of babies, and the people would come in, and like somebody would just come in and literally just change the baby, feed the baby, and then just leave it, right? And after the time period, majority of them died, right? Some of those were confirmed to be false, while others were confirmed to be actually true. Um, Now, as far as when you get older, people can die. Okay, this is kind of more pseudoscience. Like, for example, I was blamed for the reason why the black girl I was dating at the school, she died. I was blamed for that. Um, People can't. Okay, and it's more kind of a pseudoscience. There's such thing called broken heart syndrome. Broken heart syndrome and a lack of touch can fall into that, where people can just die from it. Okay, so broken heart syndrome is kind of like, I would say, like the parenting of touch deprivation, where there's no direct correlation, because there's pretty much no real way to prove it unless you conduct like a Nazi experiment or something like that. So it's just kind of more theory. Because, like, for example, like the girlfriend I had, I just didn't talk to her at all for like 6 months, and she died, and it was confirmed that they said that she died from broken heart syndrome, because there was like literally nothing wrong with her at the time. So it's one of those that's one of those areas where, yeah, like you do kind of have to kind of like read between the lines on it. Um, but again, it's still one of those things that's kind of like it's more of a pseudoscience, like broken heart syndrome, or I would say, if anybody tried to say like the cause, like something like fibromyalgia or something like that, or like there's no, or like the cause of IBS, like we could say IBS is a thing, but there's no real direct correlation to it. So yeah, so I would say it's more of a pseudoscience. But yeah, thanks for the message, though. I appreciate it, man. So yeah, let's start on this. Let me get halfway. It's 8:45. Okay. So where did I leave? I should be about. Oh, I didn't make it as far as I thought I made it. Oh yeah, I really didn't make it that far. Okay, I see. Yeah, because this is about the wage right here. Let me catch them on the comments real fast. The hair thing is always one thing. I think right. What's up, Javi? What's up, man? I was working with a black girl. I work with a black girl right now that's like that. I think black women's problem is me the hair, mostly the wig. You don't know whether it's. Oh yeah, yeah. So Ronnie, with that message about the hair, the African girl, she never did the whole. She wore her hair like natural. She was one of those. She was just one of those specific special ones. She really was. But yeah, like the hair and like this. Okay, and real quick, this is another. This is an issue, right? This is a deep mental issue. Black women with the hair, like with this girl right here, you guys can see this. The one with this girl with the eyelashes, right? This is okay. This is a weird dilemma because in one instance, like yes, guys like okay, at some point a guy will like a girl who has longer eyelashes or long straight hair, or they'll try to they'll make their whatever, right? But on the back end, the reality of it is it brings so much attention to the insecurity of what she really is that if you could think through your horniness, it's really it's really a pathetic act for women to do stuff to wear eyelashes like that or have long straight hair where their hair is nowhere in no shape or form naturally long or straight at all. Like if you can get over the horniness, you can see how pathetic it is, right? Yeah. Andre Williams. Hey, no, hey, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, if you want, email me and maybe I can I say email me, and I can maybe try to go more in depth, or maybe I just approach it in a whole wrong way. I'll totally admit that because that's another thing that I'm seeing working at where I'm working at is the quality of a teacher, right? Because I've been a teacher and I've been a tutor. And I will tell you, now I didn't teach for very long, but I tutored for years, right? Because teaching just fucking sucks. All the prep work you got to do for it is just awful. Teaching is fun by itself though. But a person who is a good teacher, their perspective will be if I could not okay if my student in whatever context if my student if my trainee whatever if they don't know how to do something if they didn't understand it's my fault, right? It's not their fault. And I think society and academia has relied on just blame the student or just blame the trainee, right? Because they can get away with it. The trainee just didn't understand. But for anybody who has any genuine character and morals about this shit, right? If they're trying to train or teach or advise or something, and if the person they're talking to didn't understand it for whatever reason, it's not their fault. Like I am taking responsibility for that. I am the first one to take responsibility for the shit. If I fucked up, I will be the first one to say, okay, maybe I did it, right? A great teacher, a person who's a great teacher is one that makes sure that people know what they're doing, right? There is no blaming the people, right? Unless it was like an extreme case, like they were just completely ridiculous, right? Like, being loud in class all the time, shit like that, then you blame them. But if they're actively trying in any sense of the imagination, okay, I'm taking fault for that if they don't understand it, right? Hey, what's up, NRG? AD, what is the context behind you talking about black women in your workplace? Are you currently working with a lot of? Yeah, I'm working with a decent amount of black women. What is the context? So I'm not working with. It kind of comes as like regroup meeting type of thing, but so I'm not like really working with them like in a room. It's all because I have to work all over. All my work is done like literally sitting right here, right? All my work is done through the telehealth shit. Um, but even when I went back to the U.S., well, just because I grew up with them, man. It's just really because one part of it is just woman's nature to gauge the quality of man before she starts acting like because all women know what men want. All women know that men want a woman who's submissive and all that shit. This is no secret. Feminism is trying to fight it with all this goofy shit, but everybody knows this shit, and it's in our DNA for millions of years. All right, it's trying to fight it. It's like trying to fight a fucking lion from taking a shit in a certain spot. This is what lions do, bro. This is what dogs do. This is. But it's just, but black women have it definitely here's the thing, black women end up sticking out a lot more because they're usually more emotional and loud and more aggressive. So when they're awkward, it sticks out so much more to the point where it's if anything, it's just a huge disgusting turnoff at this point. Unless you're just too horny and she has some nice cheeks, it's just a huge turn. Like again, the only thing that gets them over and women over in general is the fact that a guy's gonna get horny at some fucking point, right? And the guy's gonna be blinded by his horniness, right? That's literally the only thing that keeps a woman getting over in life in any capacity, right? Is that at some point somebody's dick's gonna get hard, and all she gotta do is wait for that opportunity to start directing shit in a different path. That's it. Women in the red pill space are cringe. It, yeah, because of their nature. Well, okay, in my opinion, why it's cringy is because women simply are the red pill. Red pill is the study of it, right? But they are the red pill, right? So I don't know. I guess it would kind of be like, this is probably a poor analogy. In my opinion, it'd probably be more like a dog trying to walk around and try to express that it knows it's a dog to people who study dogs, right? And then trying to, okay, or better yet, I say this, it's like people who study children, and then children try to come in and say, yeah, I know that, yeah, I know all that. You know what I mean? But they can't really, but the child can't really see it from that overhead view because they are the child, right? So it's like, so it feels like they're synthetically trying to they're synthetically trying to understand, and you could just smell it on them like immediately type of shit, right? But again, there's always pockets of them who are genuinely good. But yeah, let me start this video because I'm gonna talk
physically, mentally, spiritually, financially,
Okay.
provide for their kids, show up for their kids.
Wasn't my problem. I just, something about being able to hand it right over to my husband just, I love.
Whenever people want to bring up the fact that I've been with my husband since I was 19 and say, oh, you're missing out. What the fuck am I missing out on? Being with fucking Brad from Alpha Apple Pie, who refuses to put on a condom and throws a temper tantrum about it? Living with roommates who leave their dishes in the sink and eat my leftovers without asking? The thing that you're missing is the fact that my husband and I met when we met regardless. If we didn't get married when we did, which was when I was 20 and he was 24, almost 25, we would have still been together anyway. We just wouldn't have been married. So it's not like I was ever going to be destined to have this wild single decade of my 20s anyway. Because when you find the person that you genuinely want to be with for your entire life, you don't throw that away just because you met them earlier than most people do. But I already reached my endgame. And in my opinion, life is too short to spend it doing meaningless things with people that don't mean anything to me when I already found what I want. So yeah, I saw my opportunity and I took it.
I've been doing a lot of thinking. Well, I don't think we should see each other anymore.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, this is great.
What?
No, it's fine. No problem. I'll meet somebody else.
Yeah.
Sure. See, things always even out for me. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
Yeah.
been really nice dating you for a while. And, good luck. You've been coming around.
It's messed up.
Yeah. That was a great episode. So yeah, so in this episode, yeah, like Jerry Seinfeld, he would always end up dating these women that because he's older, he's over that hump, right? He's over that. He's mentally and it's not because he's just older. Some guys never mentally mature to that height. Doesn't matter how old they get. But Jerry grew over that shit. Jerry was gangster red pill shit disguised as comedian type of shit, right? Disguised as mainstream comedian back then. So he understood the reality behind this shit. Like Patrice O'Neal said, and I'm loosely quoting this shit. Though, like, she's like a woman she only wants to, the high that a woman's going to get out of leaving you is knowing that you're going to be hurt when she left. She is never, a woman is never going to be happy that in leaving you, you will have a better life without her. She's going to be upset, right? Well, yes, that was a good episode.
Intimacy in marriage. The husband does the dishes, maybe he does work, maybe he doesn't, helps with the kids, you know, the bare minimum a husband should be doing anyway, and somehow considers the bare minimum as heroic accomplishments and expects his wife to rip off her clothes and give him a night to remember, and then he'll get mad when that doesn't happen. So since when did doing the basic around the house warrant some sort of heroic reward? Well, guys, she's on to you. She knows that you never help around the house, and heck, she knows the only reason you are helping is because you want to get her in bed. That's like saying, I'll vacuum the house for intimacy, or I'll help the kids for intimacy. How messed up is that thinking? But it happens all the time. Guys, there are worse ways of going for trying to get intimacy, but I don't know of that many. It's so messed up that intimacy is a reward. That's like getting a gold star. In this case, it doesn't work. I've got an entire video series about this. You should check it out.
Okay, real quick. See, I'm sure this dude's a great dude in real life, whatever. You have beers and laugh with him and talk. But this is horrible advice. Well, I don't want to say, okay, let me get that deeper. I want to say horrible. Well, no, yeah, it is horrible advice. Okay, no, well, it's leaving out a huge, and again, this is just a snippet, so maybe he's touched on this in another video. And if he did, well, that'd be worse, honestly. But so the overall theories of this is the man's trying to clean up around the house and, you know, trying to do good to get pussy out of his wife, right? Okay. Let's dissect how this even develops, right? Women know men want pussy, right? Women know that women know every dude that wants to fuck her. They already know. They know that all men want it. And that women grow up studying and asking people and what sex. They already know. Okay. So men grow up wanting to fuck women, right? So first we try to be nice. Doesn't work out. Some grow to be an asshole, whatever the fuck. But the issue comes in is men overall fail in giving up too much of the motivation for their intentions, right? And one, and two, men fail by thinking any one woman's pussy is any better than any other woman's pussy, right? Or pussy is the best thing in life, the best reward to get, right? These are two areas where this fucks up. So how this situation would be fixed, right? This scenario, how a man would truly fix this scenario of not getting sex out of a woman. Okay, one, you have to entertain. The woman may just have a low sex drive. That's totally cool, all right? That is a total fucking possibility. And I'm not mad at a woman who just has a low sex drive. It can happen, right? It could just be biology. Some women just would prefer to have sex 1-2 times a week, in all honesty, which is totally fine. They don't have to give you sex like that, right? Because that shit sucks when if I don't want to have sex and she wants to have sex. Because I just hate that feeling, right? But if she's starting to use sex as a weapon, or as a tool of reward, or even inferred that this is going to be a reward in any kind of way, okay, it's up to man to dismantle that shit from his fucking brain, right? The way you fix this in any capacity is you have to tap out from wanting sex at all, right? If you try to have sex, okay, and again, take it in the context of the perspective of the situation. You know, maybe she is just legitimately tired, okay, but if you're trying to have sex, and it's like clear she's trying to be weird and funny about it, don't ever ask sex from her again. Just don't. I remember I told you guys a story about me and my ex-wife. We went through that. I remember I think it happened twice. I tried to get sex out of her one time, and she tried to say she was tired or something like that. Then I tried again after she wanted me to massage her and all that, and then she tried to like act like she was like tired and done, and that was it. So I was like, okay. And I just didn't ask for sex at all. I just shut down. Didn't ask. That lasted about 5 days, and then she would reach over, ripping off my fucking pants, trying to suck my dick. Right? That's how you fix that shit. Because see, at first glance, the sex problem is the physical need for sex, right? Generally speaking, for man and woman, the first approach to the theory of sex is I want to bust a nut, I want to feel, the other person's body, whatever, right? But how do you always get women under control? You got to fuck with their head. Because when it comes to sex, yeah, you can do it, but that's kind of a different topic. Overall speaking, how you get a woman under control, you have to humble her ass. And how do you humble them? You have to make it clear that you just really don't need her. Perfect example, Jerry Seinfeld. That's it. Jerry could have came back and fucked the shit out that bitch after he walked out that diner. And he called her about 2 months later. She would have been at his front door waiting with a cup of coffee. That's how you do it, right? But back to using sex as a weapon, it's up to men to stand up and say, no, I don't care anymore. And just blow it off. Just don't even acknowledge it. Doesn't exist. Walk off. And you start fucking with her head. See, now she's going to feel like she's undesirable. And now she's going to want you to fuck her just so she can feel desirable. It's maybe not necessarily for sex, but she wants to feel desirable. And that's how you fix that problem. Men have to learn to stop glorifying pussy in any way. As soon as you feel that, how I define it to myself, right? As soon as I feel that shift in my heart or my head of I gotta do this. Why are they doing? Why are they not doing it? I gotta do this. I gotta do this. As soon as I start to feel that shift, I'll go, that's it. Whatever it is, rip it out. Whatever's pushing that initial urge and feeling like that, rip it out. Because once you do that, you gave up your cards. And once you gave up your cards, now she knows she can use it as at least infer that she can puppeteer you along to do what she wants you to do in exchange for her fucking holes. That's fucking bullshit. Right? A great example, a great exercise I tell you guys to do all the time. Start fucking a bitch and just do it. Try it one time. Have sex with a woman. Don't come anywhere. Don't come at all. Just start fucking her and be like, I think I gotta go somewhere. And just back up, hard dick and everything. Tuck that motherfucker in your pants. And walk out, right? Watch how that woman responds to that. Because I've done it. Just leave. Just walk out the room, go drive, go somewhere, walk. If you gotta go walk down the street to the bus stop, just leave. Whatever you do, just leave, right? And watch how that woman reacts to that. That woman will go insane. And will do anything for you to bust a nut on her face after that. Right? And that's how you change that power play shit, dude. Women are not made to be in positions of power because they're going to fuck it up. Most men, yeah, I agree, Scooby. Yeah, most men are too weak for that. Yeah. Yeah, because it's almost, it's not the sunk cost fallacy. What's that? Not sunk cost fallacy. Well, yeah, I would call it a version of a sunk cost fallacy. They're investing all this because they think it's going to pay off, but it's never going to get in their favor. In that, I say like sunk cost fallacy, like gambling. Like I would say it fits that thing. Like they think that the more they're putting into it, that they're going to get paid back for it, and in a handsome way type of shit. But it's never going to go that way in this route, right? It's never. I'll give you guys a perfect example real quick. The one girl I told you I'm working with, pretty girl, and she suffered from that Cinderella shit. Like her mom and sister are like treating her like shit because she's the pretty one and like just dogging her out. Yeah, I'm be real with you, right? That girl's pretty, and she's like 20. Like I would be completely lying to say I'm not attracted to her just on a biological level, just because how she looks. She's a young woman and she's helpless. Like of course, dude. Of course, that's striking up simp like like the daydreaming of simping for her to like fall in love with me in some type of way. Maybe not simping, but what's the word I'm using for it? Like, because I've never been the type of dude to just buy bitches like, you know, cell phones or anything like that. But you know what I'm trying to say, like to be the white knight. Yeah, that's the perfect example. Like, no, like I would be lying if biologically I want to be her white knight because she's a young, attractive girl who's helpless and defenseless, and I can start daydreaming on riding away on a fucking horse with her behind me, holding me around my waist because she's a young, helpless, attractive girl, dude. Like, I would be lying if because it's just biology, right? It's just basic biology. Right? But I know how to look at it and say, that's not reality. Right? No matter how bad I want to believe it, and how good it makes me feel to live out that daydream of this, you know, this movies, you know, these romance movies, or what I never watch romance movies, but these movies that portray, you know, the guy saving the woman that's in distress and all that. Like, of course, dude, like it's a natural reaction. So when it comes to that, I'm not mad at guys for feeling that. But what frustrates me is guys don't mentally grow to become above it, right? But yeah, let's continue.
Check it out.
I have a question. Please explain to me how come a broke man don't deserve no love, but a broke bitch do? Confused.
He's down the street. I mean, that's short.
No, it's not. It's fine.
Listen. I didn't say it wasn't allowed. You gonna sit like a lady and act like a lady in the thing?
Yeah,
I would expect you to, but I want to hear it out of your mouth.
Yes, look, I have shorts on too.
That's a plus for me. Maybe I'll buy you some. But be cool with this shit. You're giving me a heart attack over here.
Okay.
It looks nice. You look beautiful. Where were we at?
Little word of advice for you fellas. Be careful who you have children with. Because there's a lot of you guys running around here saying, oh, never be a stepdaddy, never raise somebody else's children. And I hear you, and I agree. Some of you say that because you're like, yo, that child will never respect you if it ain't your child. Well, I got news for you. Even if it is your child, that child will still disrespect you if you have them by the wrong woman and she plants that seed in their head to disrespect you. So just be careful.
Oh my. Okay, so he's a stepdad. He's a stepdad. Let me tell you something, dude. Look, your kid is a whole. Yeah, now I can speak on this because I have a kid now, dude. So I can speak on this now. The child that you have is your child. There is absolutely no comparison between your child and some random kid, unless you got some almost pedophilia shit going on, right? Some borderline pedophilia shit. If you think you can love somebody else's child, even if your child's a piece of shit, which it can totally happen because, you know, humans could just turn out different ways from different stimuli that we have no control over. Even if your son turns into a piece of shit, like, you can wish that somebody else's kid is your kid because, you know, they be probably like, you know, super successful or something like that. But when shit gets real, no, that's your kid. Your kid is okay. Like I said, there are extreme cases, I guess. Like, you know, some kids go out and get hooked on heroin and start stealing everything, shit like that. But even then, on a deeper level, there is no comparison, dude. There is absolutely no. And I didn't realize that till I had my own. I didn't fully realize till I had my own. So I'll tell you what's crazy. I don't have the book here. But in the genetics book, I'm reading. I got a genetics book, and I was reading that, and it shows you all these, you know, like these conditions, right? All these medical conditions that can happen through genetics, right? And some of them can get pretty wild. So, for example, one of them, the meso, I forget what it was, the middle part of the baby didn't form, so the legs come out together and they look like a mermaid. It's just one leg. or some of them can be some. With most of these babies die when a baby is born. It's pretty much a cyclops, right? But I don't think it's actually an eyeball. But it comes out as like as just like it looks like it doesn't have eyes and it just has like one circle in the middle of it. It looks fucking like it's so many genetic defects that can happen that look like really wild. Like if these people were to live, there's no way they can walk around the mall because everybody would just be freaked out, right? But what I thought of when I was reading through these different conditions, these different most of these babies, most of the time the mother's body would just kill the child because like the mother's body's know it's fucked up kind of thing. But every now and then some of them do make it out, right? But like 95% of them don't. But what I thought was, right, like these pictures, they see some of these babies come out fucked up, like scary, or their hands get like webbed together like that. Like it'll be like webbed together. So like this would just be like one finger and then it just had these two type of shit. Just these really like all these conditions. But you know what's crazy? I imagine myself like, what if one of them looked at me and said, "Daddy"? Like as a father now, like that shit almost bring tears in my eyes. Like, of course I'm gonna take care of this motherfucker. Like before I would. I mean, it's freaky to look at, but like imagine if a kid that had a condition like that looked at you. If it was like your son and he looked at you and said, "Daddy," like. That shit, like, I blew my own mind with that exercise, like, just thinking about it, right? So imagine if anybody has, like, some type of, like, whatever, the physical condition or even mental condition, if they looked at you and said, "Daddy," like, they were your kid. That is a mind fuck, dude, for me. CRISPR is trying to change. I don't know what CRISPR, I don't know what that is. What's up, PTR? Real quick, I seen this question while I was watching the video. How do you think AI women bot will change the dating game? Well, I don't know, but ultimately, I hope that men just put their focus in anything else other than actual women, like real human women. I don't care where they go with it, honestly. But my wish is that men collectively just put their interest in anything else, and because that's the only thing that's going to really fix all this. Well, like the Jerry Seinfeld scenario, when the guy has the courage to just get up and leave because he genuinely has something else better in his life, that's the only thing that's going to fix it. So as far as like AI women, I hope that's the thing that pushes men to the edge to just collectively come together and say, yeah, we rather just fuck with this robot or this AI instead of deal with the woman. I think that because here's the thing with women, the more you gonna sit up and argue and talk your head off to them and all that, the worse it's gonna get, right? Women do not react well off of that. Women react better off of you taking your attention somewhere else. Well, and like this Jerry Seinfeld scenario just showed, that whole rant I did on that. Women react better to you taking your attention somewhere else. So the more you sitting there arguing with them and yelling at them, whatever the fuck, your attention is going to them, so nothing's ever going to get fixed. You have to just disengage, right? Even if you want to yell at them, right? Because I still fall in that sometimes now, like for whatever reason. I mean, whether there's some menial, trivial shit, like yelling at a woman is not going to fix anything. What's going to truly fix something within her is if you just take your interest somewhere else, or make it clear that your interest is going to go somewhere else if this doesn't get resolved, right? That's what women respond to the best. Period. Oh, my Streamlabs still working. My comments froze. Okay, there it is. It's back now. I'm real behind on comments. Will you have time to do a reality TV review this weekend? I don't know, man. I'm going to try. Well, I always try, but I don't know. I have no, because I seen the email about the BitChute and Rumble, which I should put my videos on Rumble, because you mentioned that Rumble is good for RedPill people.
Respect you if you have them by the wrong woman and she plants that seed in the
level 4 yard, no hands policy. You're going to have to book someone. You don't bring it up unless you're ready to take it all the way. You just shut the fuck up about it unless you're ready to take it. You're ready to handle it. So Cop flips our cell, trashes everything, whatever. I'm super calm about it. I know the get down. I don't say nothing to the cop. I just go in, I start straightening my shit up. Here's my dumbass fucking celly talking mad shit to the cop. I just put my head down. And I wait for it, you know. The cop's like, okay, young, I'll be back. About 10 minutes later, our dude who's got the block, skinhead, rolls up, slides about a 10-inch bone crusher under the door, and says, hey, Steve, come here, man. It hits him in the foot. He's like, oh, fuck, what's up, man? He's like, that cop disrespected you. Let's go. I'm ready to roll. Put your fucking boots on. That fool pissed his pants. Oh, no, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. He's like, okay, kick that shit back. Next time it's going through the back of your fucking head. It's as simple as that. You don't speak on it unless you're ready to roll.
That's right.
I just wanted to let y'all know I will officially be hitting the wall in a few days. Now, I had already hit the wall when I turned 30, but I'm officially hitting it at 35 in a few days. And per Red Pill, I am leftovers and don't no man want me. So therefore, I will be embracing my down alone era with my dog Brody. And I do want it to be known, it's not really that bad at the wall. At the wall, you don't get cheated on. You don't have nobody having outside babies on you. You don't have no six-figure man trying to manipulate you with money. You don't have nobody fighting with you about who's going to pay for a date. It's very peaceful at the wall. You're not in competition with no other women. You don't have to be feminine, fit, and friendly. You can be walking around with your resting beef face every day if you want to, because don't no man want you. You undesirable, so it don't matter anyway. You get to just live your life. So while you may not get you a high-earning six-figure man, you become the high-earning six-figure one man.
Wow. So she... So what I got from that is I would rather die alone than date somebody on my exact level. That's fucked up. Yo, let me read this. Thanks for the tip, Elijah. Thanks a lot, man. Hey, D, what's going on, man? Just want to send you this video to react. It's a Facebook video. Let me play that. I'd say email it to me because I can't copy the link, and that's just way too long to type out. And I have no idea. I tried copying the links through here before, and it wouldn't. Let me try. I can try it right now because it says it copies, but it's whenever I actually try to paste it, just nothing ever comes up. Yeah, it's like nothing's there. So try. I'd say if you can email it to me, man, because I have no way of copying that out of there. Thanks for the dollar donation, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's she would rather die. She would rather die alone, angry and bitter, instead of date a man who's like genuinely on her level, right? And here's the reality of that philosophy: is like, if the man on your level, okay, speaking to this woman specifically, if the men on your level are so desirable, then what do you think you are to men? Right? If the man on your level is so undesirable to you that you'd rather die alone, what do you think you are in the world? That's sad.
Six-figure man, you become the high-earning six-figure one man.
You better fix my entire life, you little shit.
Something that I've learned over the last year in dating is that the more a man tells you about his job and what he does, the less money he makes. The more money he makes, the more vague he is. So men that are broke will tell you all the different odds and ends jobs that they do. They feel like they have to try out for you. The more money they make, let's say, they'll just tell you their job role. I'm a project manager, or I'm a landman, I'm an engineer. The men that make the most money just tell you what industry they work in. I work in the oil and gas industry. Sweetie, he's the CEO. He's the CEO of that company.
Well, I don't know what my boyfriend thinking. I don't get this. I don't get that. He sees 99% of the time.
Wow, that's good. That's real good. And
He starts telling me how his mom worked 3 jobs and cooked and cleaned and how he admires that and wants a woman like that.
honestly, I'm going to block you.
Thank you. Can we just fill this room with thank you, thank you, thank you?
No, I suppose. No more question because I'm a little mad and I'm tired. Thank you.
Because men have gone more selfish.
Because she's not being fulfilled properly by her man. Simple. Because if you're in a traditional relationship, the man is the provider and the woman's the homemaker. Do you understand what I mean?
But the problem is women won't go down in lifestyle in order to have a family. So like if something
Because they're normally with self, because men are gone more selfish.
So no, I think women are more. I'll give you an example, okay? And I don't mean to pick on you, but like your nails done, right?
Yeah.
And I notice most girls that come on my show have their nails done, and they usually have very nice clothes, and it's like lifestyle. But and so like I've asked this question where I say, would you go down in lifestyle? Like you make this much money, would you go down to this lifestyle at $40,000, $30,000 a year for a family? And they say no. Like because a man on one income you can afford an apartment, but women want a house.
If you go down by that much.
Mental stimulation more than anything.
More than anything.
More than anything.
Can I talk?
Don't believe them. Don't believe them for a bit. Don't buy it. I have never met a woman that has claimed to require mental stimulation that has actually meant it.
Yeah.
Never. Never.
But most women have no sense of of like mental stimulation. Okay, yeah, women who claim they need mental stimulation are like women. It's like the typical woman who claims she likes sushi or claims that she likes art. She's only saying that because she figures it's going to make her sound more exotic or interesting. Most women cannot keep a conversation going. They don't have legit interesting topics. It's just he's right.
I have yet to meet someone who says that and actually means it. Because as soon as they say something like that, at first I used to believe it. I used to hear it and I would get excited because I love broad concepts. And if you guys have been, sticking around and with me long enough, then you've heard some of the things I've talked about. I've broken down the myth of 10%. I've talked about epistemology, existentialism. I've talked about solipsism, phenomenalism. I've talked about several different topics. And these topics are extremely profound, broad, and exhaustive. Whenever I've talked about these topics to other women who claim to be sapiophiles and sapiosexuals and claim to want mental stimulation, guess what happens?
Yeah. When women are not even smart enough to know they're stupid yet. Especially if she's cute. She's not going to be smart enough to know she's stupid. She'd rather just be intimidated and mad.
They think I'm weird. They think I'm an overthinker. They think I'm overanalyzing everything. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just talking about some in-depth, profound topics because I thought you were a sapiophile. By the way, for those of you that don't know what sapiophile is, that's exactly what it is. A sapiophile is someone who holds intelligence as the highest regard and the highest quality in a person. And the root word for sapiophile is actually a derivative of two words, one in Latin, one in Greek. The Latin word is sapient, the Greek word is phile, and it's literally a lover of wisdom. Sapient in Latin is intelligence or wisdom. Phile in Greek is lover of. So it's quite literally the lover of wisdom. That's where we get the term from, and that's the proper etymology and origin of it. But in saying that, man, I swear, like, it's so annoying, man, because I hear this so often, and it's just a trendy thing to say. People will say anything that's trendy, even though they don't know what they're talking about. And I had a couple incidents where one woman literally blocked me because of my take on existentialism and my take on philosophy and my take on life in general. She asked me what my take on philosophy was. So I told her I'm an existentialist. And she was like, what is that? I broke it down. I explained it elaborately because I want you to understand what I'm saying. So I broke it down in layman's terms. And she texted me later on that night saying this was a weird experience. I didn't expect it to happen. And before I could write back, I was already blocked. I was like, I thought you were a sapiophile, though. You know what I'm saying? Another girl told me that she was big on psychology. So I asked her a couple psychological questions that dealt with the human behavior. And she didn't even respond. She just left it on red. And another time, a girl told me she was like, oh, well, everyone has their own opinions. I was like, you're not giving me yours, though. So whenever I hear it, honestly, I just think it's bullshit. Don't believe it.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah. Most women you're going to come across in life, Like literally, most of the women you're gonna come across in life are not gonna be there's nothing interesting. Majority of the ones you're gonna come across in life is you're not gonna have any. You're not gonna really hang around there because she's actually an interesting person to talk to, right? That's just reality. Oh, hey Elijah, I got the email, so I'm not gonna have it. I see it's about Skippy. I'm not going. It's just a 15-minute long video. I'm not gonna be able to do that tonight for sure because I still gotta do some other stuff. And it's 9:24 right now. So yeah, but I try to do it tomorrow, if as long as I can live. If I can get on live streaming tomorrow, I'll try to do it tomorrow for sure. But I'm not gonna be able to get to that tonight. But yo, thanks for sending it in the email though. It's about Skippy and Abba and Preach. Oh, it was Abba and Peach. Abba and Preach. Oh, didn't mean to do that. And maybe that could work better. But this, oh wait, let me see if I can drag this. Maybe this could work better like that. Let's see.
Parents, are they aware? Like, how have they kind of taken this?
They actually recently found out. The way they even found out, it's not even like them finding out themselves. It was somebody hating on me, and they might see this. Fuck you. They went and they made a Facebook account, and they DM'd my mom, and they told her.
Is this person like related to you, or?
I don't know. I honestly expected them to find out themselves because my dad watches porn, and I myself have been on porn plenty of times.
Oh, okay,
where
so
I see myself as a top ad or like a suggested. So I'm like, I already know.
Hey guys, so I have been spending the day taking photos for a friend of mine's wedding. I took their engagement photos at a beach about 1.5 years ago, and now it's time for their wedding. And the honest to God truth is that I'm having a really hard time being here. She has a son, I think he's 3 or 4, and she's getting married to her son's dad. And I didn't think it was going to be really hard for me until the vows. And, you know, it's like one of those moments again where it hits you that you're really a single parent. And that your kid's parent decided that you weren't good enough. And so they decided to leave. And their ceremony was beautiful. Like, he cried, she cried. There was not one dry eye in the entire church. And one of the things that she said during her vows was, and this is not verbatim, but she said, one of the first promises, and maybe it was the first promise you ever made me, was to always be here for me and our son. And ever since you made that promise, every promise since has been kept. And I just lost it behind the camera. I lost it because I wish that that was me. And as happy as I am for her, it's really hard for me. And when he started reciting his vows, talking about how much he can't even find the words to explain how much he loves her, and just how he'd never ever give up on her, and how he just thanked her and apologized for places where he was at fault, really crushed me. And it just always leads me back to this feeling of just feeling really defeated. And again, it's like I'm so happy for her, but it's like, God, why couldn't that be me? So I'm gonna go finish shooting her reception, but
well, it could be you. You know, but those you know, all them guys you left on red, or you didn't like him because his last name started with a J. You mean that's why it's not you. You left on red. You left on red 5 guys because they last name had a N in it. You know what I mean? Or you didn't like how he texted you one time. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to feel sorry for bitch. You really just can't feel sorry for them, dude. You just can't feel sorry for them. Yeah, okay, and this woman is the same example. I think it was last night where the girl tried to say, I would have just married a millionaire. Like, see, women are not in charge of getting married. Women are in charge of that initial fuck time. The first, week, maybe 2 weeks of trying to fuck her. After that, she is in no control, for real, right? She is not a woman is not in control who marries her. She's not a bad looking girl. I'm sure but all the men she wants don't want her, because there's definitely men who want her, right? While she's sitting in there making this video, I guarantee there's messages in her phone from men who's been trying to holler at her for the last 5 months, right? But she's too good for them, right? Ain't nothing wrong. If ain't nothing wrong with those dudes. You know what I mean? They ain't like, super low or nothing like that. Like, they probably just on her level. You know what I mean? This is why, like, you just can't feel sorry. Just don't feel sorry for women in the dating world. Like, this cry, like, because it's pure fucking what's the word I'm looking for? Just selfish. She doesn't want to get married because she wants to get married. She wants to get married because her friend got married, or whoever the fuck it was, and she just wants whatever. This is another part of woman's theory. She just wants whatever she sees other women have, right? And women know this. She's not here crying. I just cry on the camera. She's crying. Look. The only reason it's nothing more than a kid in a candy shop. The only reason the kid wants candy is because he's in the candy shop. You take the kid outside the candy shop, the kid ain't even thinking about candy, right? It's the same thing with single bitches that go to weddings, right? Well, I'd say, in a sense, in this context, it's the same theory, right? She doesn't want to get married to have a family and all that. If she was wanting to get married to have a family and all that, she would dig back in that phone and text back those 6-7 dudes who's been texting her and she's been leaving on red and ain't wrote back yet. If she wanted to get married and have a family, she would have did that. If she was really trying to do that, she would have done it. She doesn't want to get. She doesn't. And even if she does want to get married, if she did do that, she doesn't want to get married to be with the other guy. She wants to get married so she can fulfill her validation of worth something in the world. It has nothing to do with the actual relationship. What's up, Moel Linium? What's up, man? What's up, Apollo?
I'm gonna go for the shooting, her reception. Good.
Here's the deal. We are going to one more sorority house to have another comedy show. All right, please give it up for Corey Holcomb. Let him know, Corey Holcomb.
Hey, ladies, how you doing?
Oh, I never knew his name. That's the other black dude comedian that I love. I used to love him. Well, I love him and Patrice O'Neal. Both of those dudes are great. I never knew his name though, and I could never remember Patrice O'Neal's name either. But when I was younger. But I love these two black dudes. I love these guys, man. They're fucking great.
You seen a fat chick with regular people legs? I'm here with a public service announcement. I want you to know this about your boyfriend. Clap your hands if you have a boyfriend. You got a boyfriend? Clap your hands. Did you know your boyfriend is with you because at this point in his life, you are the best he can do? It's the truth. If he hits the lottery, do you know you and him have no chance of making it? I know that hurts, but listen. Here's something else you don't want to hear. After sex, I want you to know, with your boyfriend, your value depreciates tremendously. That's how it goes. I see ladies look shocked, and you should, because your whole life, every man that's with you is going to lie to you. That's how he's going to make you happy. But guys like me are going to be honest with you. And when you ladies are about 39 to 40 years old in the club with a cat suit on and a long cigarette in your hand, you're going to appreciate me. Hey, yo, that was my...
I'm a whole ass adult. I don't want none of...
This shit was gold. That shit was gold. That was kind of, him and Patrice O'Neal were always my favorite, and I never knew his name. It was him and Patrice O'Neal. Cause I want to say he even did a few BET stand-ups. Cause I don't think he fucked with BET a whole lot, but he would have Comedy Central stand-ups. I loved him back then. Loved him. Him and Patrice O'Neal. Loved both of them. But I can never remember their names. So you didn't have to roast him like that. Corey Holcomb is his name. Corey Holcomb.
That little social media type of relationship. I want to build up our credit, get a house together, create a family, go to the gym, travel, create financial stability, work on our goals, our own personal goals, our own goals as a couple. I'm too damn grown and old to be just fucking around.
I was talking to a woman, she got engaged, I was telling her how great marriage is, how great raising kids are, and stuff like that. And I was talking, I'm raising my son, he needs to be able to protect. And she goes, oh, we don't subscribe to those traditional gender roles. I said, oh, okay, so can I ask you a question? You and your fiance...
Yeah. See, okay, we don't ascribe to those traditional gender roles means she's in charge of the family, right? And what happens when you put a woman in charge of the family? Everything goes to shit. Mothers are great, don't get me wrong. And if you get lucky to have a good mother, or at least a good mother for your child, if not a great mother, if you get lucky to get, because people change after kids get born and, life happens, people change, right? So I'm not acting like that doesn't happen. But if you're lucky enough to get with a woman who stayed decent, throughout the whole, trajectory, okay, women raise the exact thing that they despise in real life, right? Women will raise women. Everything a woman touches usually goes to shit, right? If she ventures too far from the kitchen, that's why y'all remember those old jokes like "back to the kitchen" type of shit, and that's real shit. Once they leave those workforces of either being an emotional rag or staying in a kitchen somewhere, every other field they go into, they just fail horrifically, right? So for example, like women pretty much dominate like childcare, teaching small children, maybe with some forms of like being like dietitians, shit like that. Anything that has to do with preparing food in some kind of way or monitoring children, aka being an emotional tampon for a child, right? Or if that's the proper way to say it. Any other profession, anything else that they'll touch on an overwhelming average, it's gonna go to shit. And even with the kids, if you leave her alone with the kids, it's just a matter of time before. Usually, every now and then you get a case where a single mother does an excellent job. It's very rare, but it happens. But the majority of the time, no. She's the guy's gonna be raised to be soft or just intellectually fucked up in some way. Like, but anyway, back to this guy. The woman saying we don't ascribe to those we don't ascribe to those traditional societal norms and shit. What that means is the woman's in control of that household, and that's going to shit real fast.
I was talking to a woman, she got engaged, I was telling her how great marriage is, how great raising kids are, and stuff like that. And I was talking, I'm raising my son, he needs to be able to protect. And she goes, oh, we don't subscribe to those traditional gender roles. I said, oh, okay, so can I ask you a question? You and your fiance leave your dinner up here in Washington, D.C., you leave dinner, and as you're walking back out to the parking lot, a guy jumps out with a knife.
Yeah.
Now, in one of these scenarios, your fiance jumps in front of you and puts himself in between the attacker and you. And in the other scenario, he hides behind you. In which scenario are you more attracted to your fiance? And she looked at me and smiled. She goes, well, that's not fair. I said, okay. Well,
yeah, because shit got real in that example. That's why it's not fair. You see, women. See, this is a perfect example. That was a great story because that's real shit. But this is historical fact, right? Women only want equality when it's comfortable after man's already paved the way for them to have the ability to perform on any level, to have the chance to perform in an equal manner, right? That's when they want it. See, there was no feminists back when you had to go hunt for mountain lions. There was no feminists where you know, before plumbing was a thing. Very few, right? There was no feminists back in days when times were hard. See, feminism didn't come along until men had already created society and created luxuries. That's when feminism became this hard push issue, right? But yeah, that gender role situation, that was fucking perfection. Fucking perfection. He said, if a guy, if he's walking, if her and her husband was walking and a guy with a knife came and pulled out on him, what would she think? Would she rather her husband jump in between them or her husband hide behind her and have her protect him? Yeah. That explains that explains the gender role right there. That's sad.
Fair or not, you're the one that just indicated that you know what you know what's true when it really comes down to brass tacks, right? It's all nice to pretend that in this world where nothing bad happens, you know, and men don't have to fill that role. But as soon as something bad does
Men
happen,
have to fill the
you
role.
want them to be able to fulfill that role.
What is
Ukraine?
Fulfill that role. But as soon as something bad does happen, you want them to be able to fulfill that role.
Looking at you, Ukraine. Banned all them men from leaving and let the bitches leave. I'm still waiting on feminists to bring that topic up. I'm still waiting on feminism to bring the topic up of Ukraine. How they ban men from leaving the country and let all the women leave. And where was all these women who were fighting for equal rights and fighting for they could fight for their country too? I want all the rights that men got. I want to join the military too. Where was all these admirable women at in Ukraine when Russia came in and started clapping them cheeks? All the women who could afford it, they got the fuck up out of there. And where was all these American feminists at when the news came out that they banned the men from leaving because they had to fight and they had to at least stand a chance to fight in the war? And the women, I would love to be a fly on the wall in the feminist headquarters when that shit came on CNN on the TV, just to watch their face, just see how their face react to it.
What is a high body count for a woman?
I don't think it exists.
Explain why.
Because high body count.
Let me see. Rhonda said, we instinctively fill that role. When my dad died, my sister was crying and depressed. I had to be strong when that happened to make her feel better. Yo, and Rhonda, here's another thing that is, I'm not going to say this happened with you, but here's another thing that happens. Women will instinctively make their son, they try to instinctively make their son the new man of the house, like for real, right? They'll start pushing, that's a very common thing. Like they want, like they're either going to want you, well, either way, the woman wants the boy to just figure out how to be a man, right? Because she doesn't know how to teach a boy to become a man, because a woman knows nothing outside of trying to look good and wait to get fucked. Right, and hope people care about her emotions. That's all women, like that's 98% of women's drive in life. She doesn't have to think about anything else. So with a woman, when a mother is looking at her son, especially if the dad's not there or no man is there to raise him, she's hoping the boy just figures it out at 18 and he just becomes a man. Right, so at that point, either she's going to try to push responsibilities on him, or she's going to start up arguments in indirect ways to get him mad so he can leave and run away, and so she can discard of him. It's usually going to be one of the two. She's going to have to slip into at least one of those categories, if not both of them.
For a woman.
I don't think it exists.
Explain why.
Because high body count, that's just relative, and to me, there's no such thing as high.
Okay. High body count for a woman.
Like, I'd agree. I don't think body count, like, even matters. Like, if someone asks you what's your body count, like, what's the point of even knowing?
Okay. What do you think?
The limit does not exist.
Damn, explain why.
It just doesn't, because you're a woman, so slay.
If she's not into it, he can stand there with the biggest hard on, makes no dent. Shop is closed. Nothing's gonna happen. What turns her on is to be the turn on. And that's the big secret of female sexuality, is that it is massively narcissistic.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the caring for others, of feeling responsible for others. If she can think about herself, then she can be into it. And in order to think about herself, she then needs to like herself. Hence, she can't be in a critical voice. That's the perfection piece. If she starts to think about everything about her that is not good enough, that she doesn't like, she will shut herself off. Before you ask a woman if she will make love to a man or to another woman, ask a woman if she would make love to herself.
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't want to make love to herself, she won't let anybody else do it either. And that's where the perfection piece comes in.
Feminist, get up.
Yeah. See, now, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know who this woman is. I don't think I've ever. I'm notoriously bad with names, but she sounds like a legitimate feminist. This Esther. Let me Google her. She sounds like a legitimate feminist. Because you know legitimate feminists when you she's a psychotherapist. She sounds like, yeah. And see this is the thing, and see this is what I bring up all the time is in the legitimate scholarly world, right? Woman's nature is no. See, they're literally just saying all, like, if anything, they have even better takes on red pill shit, right? Because here's the thing: if you really want to be a great red pillar dude, just read off shit that bitches in legit professions like this will say. But see, these women are always sanctioned off and closed away and locked away because it defies the narrative that women are perfect, women are 100% equal, and all this shit, right? Women are righteous, everything about them is right. It defies it, right? See, so when you find women like this, they're gonna be locked away. But if you want to become a great red pill channel, my recommendation, I would say, just start reading books on the topic. Just read, literally just recite. Just open up a video, just start recite. Just open a book and just recite the shit. Right? Yeah. See, when you encounter, trust me. Okay, you will know when you encounter a real feminist from an envious, jealous cunt bitch who claims to be feminist because now she's fat and retarded, right? Because she was retarded the whole time. Now she's just old and fat, right? And that just brought her all the way down, right? You will know when you're speaking with a legit feminist or a legit intelligent woman on a topic, or just some dingbat bitch who just is mad because she's fat and fucking retarded now, right? This woman I'm willing to dive more into her. She's married. Yes, this sounds about right. I'm not surprised at all. I'm gonna read one of her books now. Now I think about it, I tell you what, I'm gonna skim through. If I have time, I'm gonna skim through some of her books and find and see, because just that statement right there, at that statement right there, I'm gonna go ahead and jump my assumptions. But if she even had the awareness to say some shit like that, she is like leagues above the typical woman. And like I said before, these women exist. They exist, but they're gonna be off and gone in their own. You're not gonna. Well, how many people here even heard of Esther Pearl? I haven't. I don't think so, because I'm horrible with names. But I don't think I've ever heard anything about her. But this is what I see: women who are legitimately intelligent about this shit, they're not gonna be on YouTube talking about men and all this shit. Women who are actually intelligent, they're not gonna be writing articles on Bold. Esther Pearl is not writing articles on Bold.com because that's too far beneath her. Those bitches are just inferior women at this point, right? Mentally inferior women, right? Esther Pearl is not writing articles on Bold.com. She's not writing, what's this website? Medium. Yeah, Medium is another one. See, bitches like Esther Pearl, they ain't going anywhere near Well, I think medium has some good and some bad. But see, bitches like Esther Pearl, they not going anywhere near this shit. Because they don't even mingle with bitches like this. And Esther, she's older, but she's not a bad looking woman. You could tell she was always, like, she always had, let's look at her, because she's married. Yeah, she's not a bad, because she's older. She's like 60 something. Yeah, she's 65 years old. So these are going to be good pictures. She's older. So it's not like she was like some ugly fucking, some ugly fat retarded bitch. Like, she could actually, like, genuinely, naturally compete. Like, okay, and I'm riding her fucking dick now, but she's in that population of woman where if she took a bath and brushed her hair and all that shit, you can just close your eyes and pick a destination to fly to. She'd get off that plane and compete with the women in that area when she was younger, right? She officially, I can just by this and just by her intelligence alone, she fits that criteria, right? So when women actively fit that criteria of knowing they can keep up, and especially on a worldwide level, because it says she's Belgian and she's up there so she's speaking at least 3 languages, because I don't know if you guys know, but in Belgium, most of them can usually speak, I think French, German, Belgian, and English a lot of times. Well, those are like the 4 most common, because it's like right in the middle of all this shit. So they're at least speaking English, Belgian, and then probably French, or like English, Belgian, and German, or some of them speak all 4. Like a friend of mine, he could speak all 4 of them. But yeah, I want to read some of her shit now, because like I said, I'm in. It's rare, especially in this. In this YouTube, doing what I do on YouTube, it's rare that I find women who will pop up who are genuinely saying some actual decent shit and that deserve worship and praise. And based off of what she just said right there, that shit deserve worship and praise. Flat out. From what she said right there, she has my respect. So yeah, Esther Pearl. I'm gonna look at, if I get time, I'm gonna look into at least finding some article she's written somewhere or something, and at least try to skim through it to get the gist of it. I'm fully impressed. But again, these women don't make it to the mainstream. They're not gonna make it mainstream, okay? Because they're fighting that because they're going against the narrative that woman is automatically completely righteous in a man's world and all that shit. They're like, they can be seen as doing shit that's not completely righteous on a worldwide level. She's going because she's analyzing actual humanity and not just what's trending in the last 5 years or some shit like that, right? I can get all that just from that brief segment in this. One thing I have to give the Europeans that they can speak multiple languages. Yeah, once you get to, especially once you get to like capital cities, yeah, like the city centers, yeah, you'll find people can speak, yeah. Well, they can at least speak. Most people will at least speak 2 languages once you get to the center. Now, it might be like, for example, here it might be Czech and English, or some people will speak Czech and German, or some people speak Czech and French, or I've heard some people, they speak Czech and Italian. It may not be like, English may not always be like the top, second language, but they definitely have a much better understanding of other languages, right?
Won't let anybody else do it either. And that's where the perfection piece comes in.
Feminist, get off my app. Femininity is what the gentlemen are looking for on my app, and you're going to have a much more success on my app. Femininity is so powerful and amazing and awesome.
You don't think you can be feminine and a feminist?
No.
How come?
It's an oxymoron.
What about the definition of a feminist is just someone who believes in equal rights between men and women?
I don't believe in equal rights between men and women.
How come?
See, when a woman, when a woman knows she can keep up with other women in the dating market on some level, she doesn't care about feminine. She don't even care she don't even know how to spell it. It's once she's convinced in her class that she can't compete with women, that's when she's all on this shit.
You don't think you can be feminine and a feminist?
No.
How come?
It's an oxymoron.
What about the definition of a feminist is just someone who believes in equal rights between men and women?
I don't believe in equal rights between men and women.
How come?
Absolutely not. I work with Navy SEALs. You think I could keep up with those guys? No, and nor would I want to. Can I shoot a gun? Absolutely. Do I sleep with a gun? I do. A Glock. And I have an AR. But could I keep up with those guys? No, I couldn't. And nor do I want to profess to. But can I teach them things in certain arenas? And I do. But I think we need each other. So I don't believe in equal rights and equal strength and equal everything. By the way, it's a falsehood. It's the biggest false narrative that we have today.
Yeah.
Big Papa?
It's not Big Papa.
No, it's just something. I'm just trying to try it out, just see if it's cool to call people Big Papa.
It's not.
Or not.
No,
it's not.
What's your biggest ick when it comes to a guy?
Dude, I will stay here for an hour.
Tell me.
If I see him going his tippy toes, we're done. If he cannot find parking on our date, we're done. If he gets like mugged and I'm with him, bro, I have to break up with him. That's so embarrassing. Dude, if he uses directions, why don't you just know? Like, I understand if we're going somewhere really far, really new, but like if it's in our area, why? Why are the directions on? I'm sorry, that's such an ick.
So that's it. That's 9:55. So, I cannot say your name, dude. I'm not even gonna try to say that. And Mecca, I hope I said that right. What is dead? Yeah, because the friend of mine, his last, I guess that's the last name. His last name starts with that De. Is that like a Belgian / like Italian thing? That De, like of Bruin. I'm gonna fuck your name up, dude. I'm sorry. But because the friend of mine who's in Belgium, his has that like his last name is like De Marteline or something like that. We never really talked about Belgium. He doesn't really talk about Belgium whenever we talk. He thinks the beer here is shitty compared to. He said the Belgian beer is like way stronger than the beer here in Czech Republic. I gotta talk because he usually always flies to India for work. I haven't talked to him in a long time. His name's Bram. I gotta talk to him. Is Bram a common name in Belgium? I don't know. If you get a chance, AD, you can check out a doc called Unacknowledged this weekend. Let's Google it. Oh, I hope this is the right one. I don't know. I hope that's the right one. Belgium, the Netherlands, and Italy use "de" a lot. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, his last name had that, and I had never seen that. I never seen "de." I've seen like what the Da Vinci or D. I think is another version of it, like DI. I don't know. That shit is definitely above my head. Let me catch up with some of these comments. Ray Allen, you seen her discussions? What was her estimate? Again, dude, it's rare. It's rare you find women who can talk like that. Because here's the thing, because there's a difference between having the intelligence and then actually putting it into words, right? And speaking with direction and force, with actual intelligence backing it up, right? Those are two massively different. Because a lot of people can talk, but not really like say anything of like logical value. Then other people can have a lot of logical value, but not actually be able to express it. So I'm truly impressed by this woman so far. She's older. She's like 65 now, so yeah, she's definitely older. I don't know if you guys see that, but I can see like all the wrinkles. She's definitely aged up. But you can tell when she was younger, like she definitely did not have to study what she studied. You know what I mean? Like, and I tell you what, at first glance, I'll be honest with you. At first glance, I would have thought she was just gonna be on some old goofy, typical bitch shit of I know about eroticism because I sucked 20 dicks when I was, 25 years old. But so as soon as I would see eroticism, as soon as I would have read this sentence, eroticism is not sex per se, but the qualities of vitality, curiosity, and spontaneity that makes us feel alive. If I had read this and not heard her speak out loud, I would have immediately written her off as just some dingbat trying to upsell herself, probably pay some dude to write that sentence to make her sound intelligent to sell something. I totally admit I would have done that if I didn't hear her speak out loud. I totally admit I would have done that. But yeah, what's in her shop? Oh, okay. So here's her books right here. So the state of affairs, rethinking the valley, made in captivity. What can we desire? What we already have? Does good intimacy always make for hot sex? See, again, if I had just read that without hearing her speak, I would have chalked her up to some bold bitch, some bitch on bold.com. So I'm glad I got to hear her speak. I'm really glad I got to hear her speak. Because it is her and there's another dude who I want to read this book. I'll show you. Hang on. This book. Wait, where is it at? Well, that's the dude, Bo Lotto, but it looks different. This is the other book I want to read. If I could find like the it's probably just a newer version, but this is the book I want to read too, because he sold me on a speech. He started speaking and I was completely sold. I don't know why I was bringing up that older looking one, but because I guess they probably like revised the cover or something. I just haven't made it around to buying it though, or at least find it somewhere to read it. I just got so much shit going on right now. But he sold me. Man, let me hear. Let me pull up. I'll show you this speech that really got me. That I was like, okay, yeah, I really want. I'm curious to hear anything that this motherfucker has to talk about now. I stumbled on this shit and fell in love with it. This is the speech. Yeah, this is it right here. I don't want to click on it because I feel like they got this shit copyrighted. So if you guys want to look it up, like you just pause the video and just Google that. But I thought he was a really good dude. I think that was a really good speech too. I'll read anything he has too. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, man. It's 10. Yo, thanks everybody who tuned in, donated. What's up, Billy? No, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start playing games again too. I'm gonna start playing. I made up my mind. I'm gonna start doing that. If y'all could collab, that would go viral. Yeah. I would love to do it. I would happily. If she's probably doing her own thing, but if she ever had if I would totally do it. If she came around and said I want to do it, I would jump to the opportunity to hear more from her based off that one speech. I would jump to the opportunity to do it. It wouldn't be if, just let me know when and where and I'm there. But yeah, yo, I'll catch y'all later, man. Oh shit. Yo, thanks for the donation. Check out .com Acknowledge this weekend. It came out. Oh yeah, so that was the one. Yeah. Oh well, real quick, I'm gonna let y'all go, but real quick, our rare breed theory. Did you see that the government let go? They let out classified documents about but they don't call them UFOs anymore. They call them something like something. But it was like there was like 200, like a total like 200 or 300 actual sightings of them, and out of those, like 80 of them were, I think, like just completely it just completely made no sense. I think it was on IGN. I was on IGN's website, the video game website, and they put it on there, and I read and I like kind of skimmed through it. The government, they actually released the files lately. But yeah, I gotta get out of here because I gotta do some other stuff. So hey, thanks everybody who tuned in. Yeah, that's it, I think. Yeah. Yo, I gotta go, man. So hey, thanks everybody tuning in, like, subscribe, donate it. It means a lot, and I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace out.